just going deep into where is this limitation of length coming from? It seems that public consensus reinforces, and therefore I see it as absolute reality.
And that there is a word, social conditioning.
Yeah. So, in other words, how to differentiate what is my consciousness imagining and my freedom, consciousness freedom, where I can have a lot of creativity, from what is absolute outside fixed and something I can't change. I think we evolve from childhood with certain things being reinforced. So everybody agrees that this is fixed. Since everybody agrees, it becomes more and more fixed in my mind. So can we say that length is not absolutely fixed, but because everybody agreed, therefore I imagine.
You are right. For practical utility value, we agreed some comparative reality and started believing that as an existential reality, which is not true.
And that's how the length became. So
I should say, you are right.
So then another similar idea, isn't language a problem? Because even if I'm not speaking to other people, even if I'm talking to myself,
I tell you, language is a problem.
The categories, even if I'm thinking in languages, in language, I'm using categories. A particular category requires differentiating what this fan is from everything else which is not the fan. So therefore, what is possible and not what is not possible is defined as part of the language.
Rajuji, from my experience, I tell you, all the people whose mother tongue is the language with multiple option words, for example, just for this one, Sanskrit may have 300 words. The multiple option word mother tongue people have a very high developed brain grooves. From my experience, I saw. So in a way, I will say, for example, if you utter a word cow, and the time it takes for the English person to grasp the visualization of the cow, and a Sanskrit person, ko, and the time it takes, at least 100. Means the person who knows the Sanskrit catches it less than 100th time with a more precision, because the words there is wide option. So brain by its nature requires to be in high alert when you handle that language.
So it seems that one of the ways to explain why human beings went down in this capability is because of the language and the public consensus.
Yes.
And the rishis probably being alone, meditating, less public consensus, and using the right...
Actually, unfortunately, in the modern day, public consensus are becoming the university syllabus.
Yeah.
In our rishis culture, university syllabus used to be made as a public consensus.
And this...
rishis sit and develop university syllabus.
Yes.
That is made as public consensus.
And this is getting worse because advertising is telling me what is good looking, what is bad looking, what I should buy. And so we are getting worse into that. Is all length. We are making length, more and more length.
Yes. You're absolutely right.
Swamiji, when you gave me the Agni Samyama initiation in Kumbh Mela, you said we'll be able to see inside. I was able to see inside. But now, in this last process, I was seeing things like the core of some planets and everything, and it's completely opposite to what we have all been led to believe in the modern thing. For example, for like Jupiter and all, I don't know why you saw.
Actually, what I am saying, Guru, if you can see your brain, you can see the reflection of Guru.
Yes.
If you can see your throat, you can see the reflection of Rahu.
That's exactly how
If
I
you
saw
can see your liver, you can see the reflection of sun.
Sunny. It's daily.
So each of the grahas are reflected on your organs and they instigate, guide. That is the way they influence and impact your life.
My question is related to the length aspect as it pertains to artists. So traditional Indian artists can visualize an image and create it exactly in the form of a sculpture or painting. And even if they make 10,000 paintings, it will be exactly the same. Not like every time they make, it will be different each time and use a word like creative expression or something. They can reproduce it exactly the same. So are they able to do it because they remove the length aspect, and when they put
I
it
should
into
say, from the young age they grow up, so the length aspect is not given much energy. Creativity and doing this repeatedly same thing is a unique to Hindu arts. Creativity and repetitively producing that. All our temple deities are handmade. You will see so much of similarity even though it is handmade, not machine made, handmade, but so much similarity you will see. Almost 90% will be same.
There's a question on third eye. If the third eye can see that, which it can, and if it can see this also, then it can perceive what this and that the same way, Swamiji.
Yes.
And is that the space of oneness, Swamiji?
I should say visual oneness. Actually, in the seeing you experience oneness, actual oneness is whatever you see, you will feel one with it. That is actual oneness.
How would
Now you are, see, if you can see this, see that, it is called 3D oneness. Actual oneness is 11D oneness, where you will feel everything is you. Not just seeing, feeling everything is you.
is it like a quantum shift to that space? Is it-
I should say quantum shift in your visual oneness.
Yesterday and today, we have been learning about length, depth, and length, breadth, and depth. My question is, I have two parts of the question. First part is, we have made lot of business decisions, family decisions, or life decisions all these days, which we might have made it in length, depth, or breadth, which are right, wrong, be it certain decisions which just comes from the gut of the feeling. Again, some have gone right, some have gone wrong. Now, when we have this knowledge, what you have shared with us, how do we handle those situations when we come across them?
Means
Those
already,
mistakes, those
what
wrong
I'm,
decisions.
what I'm saying, even the impact of the past mistakes when it is repeating, it is only a new problem.
Okay.
So deal it and cut it across.
Deal it with the new knowledge what we have gained.
That's all. Understand, your whole future is nothing but dealing with the past mistakes.
Okay.
Now, is there any future other than dealing with the past mistake?
No.
Come on. Now, we all have this big mental blockage. Understand, future is nothing but dealing with past mistakes. If you remove all the past mistakes caused problem, there is no future. Any of you? No, just see. See with open eyes. For how many of you it clicks? At any given time, when you wake up to certain truths, your future is continuation of the past mistakes presenting itself.
The concept you explain about being able to excel in multiple subjects, let's say. You mentioned that actually what limits us is the length. And if we'd only...
I should say, the denial dimension of length.
Yes, so let's say one doesn't deny anything, imagining he can excel in everything, but still there, and you mentioned that
The moment you say imagine you can excel in everything and but still you have not imagined completely. Next.
you said that in order to excel in something, you don't really need a lot of time. It only takes.
Understand? See, he's telling, let me imagine I am a rich fellow, but how will I get my next meal? That's what he's trying to ask. It means you have not imagined you are a rich guy. Next.
Okay, I had a point, but if you want, I can state it.
Yes.
Okay, so doesn't in excelling something, even though we invest all of our 100% of our being into every moment of it in excelling it, doesn't it? I mean, some subjects are complex and takes time, doesn't it?
No. Efficiency is nothing but engaging with life. Efficiency has no independent qualitative, quantitative say over your life. You might be working on the same MNC machine for 50 years. The last product you have produced may be a mess. First time you are picking up, you can be producing something extraordinary. Efficiency has no role, only involvement with life. Even if you are efficient doing the same object 20 years, if you do not attend to this cutting and moving, you will be a mess.
Another question, please. You said that, I mean, my understanding of the length is that it might be redundant for us, and if we would
Means?
only be able to remove it from
My understanding of?
length, if we would be able only to remove length from
Actually,
the rope,
when you get into the depth, length is redundant, useless. Because you are not getting into depth, length is the homeless man's poor version of depth.
you mentioned also that when you saw the blueprint of the building, you were able to immediately get the number of everything and the measurements and all that. But still, you said that in order to convince others, you had to spend another 10 days.
No. I have to speak it out so that the stapati will start working now. The person who carves, for him I have to explain.
But isn't depth?
Because he is in the space of length.
But isn't depth is subjective in a matter that one?
Yes, it is subjective.
So don't you need a common language, common logic in order to?
No. Depth was a common language at once upon a time.
So length can be redundant.
If that kind of a beings when I get, I can convey what I am saying within maybe 2-3 hours. Here also, whoever has the depth, they immediately catch me without much wastage of time of me explanation. See, I told you now that I can sit and convince you why you should be vegetarian for 20 days. But that is a lengthy process, length process.
One more thing, please.
The moment I establish my adhikaratva, means authority to teach you, by demonstrating what I am committing, then if you immediately pick it up, it's called depth teaching. The depth process.
If I may, another question.
See, let's not make length process. Let's do depth process.
First of all, thank you so much for the whole experience. It's been amazing. And oh, sorry, I said that. I thank you so much for the whole experience and Paramashivoham. It's amazing, and specifically the yoga sessions. I mean, I've been practicing for several years, and I've never experienced such things. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Whatever you all practice yoga is in length. I have taken the yoga to the depth and brought it to you. That is what is that entanglement process. I have taken the yoga to its depth and brought it to you. Now, if you experience this dimension, then you will understand the utility value of the other dimensions. You see, I need to convince you to live without length. More blissfully you will start living. Today morning also, in the yoga, actually, today morning yoga is 300% more effective than yesterday morning session. Yoga session. How many of you felt that all that gas got released and your body became flexible? See, actually when you eat and the food undigested becomes gas in you, same way when you breathe, the prana undigested becomes apana in all the joints. Apana makes joints rigid. Apana is responsible for arthritis. All the teachers, the shouting lifestyle guys will not have arthritis. Liars, whose job is screaming, they will not have arthritis. No, I am telling you. If you start screaming, you will not have arthritis. But if you start screaming at others, your bones will be broken. That is different. Now today, so much of sound is released, especially when the Kundalini hits your stomach and the sound gets released, the whole apana caught in the joints gets released. You will be surprised, such a simple thing can make the body so flexible. I saw in the Facebook so many people posting. My body becomes so flexible and it is doing so many things which I can never imagine I can do. How many of you feel body becomes so flexible? Wow. Thanks to Raghupati Yogi giving me all these tips.
When Satori happens to an individual, what state of
I
consciousness?
should say, space opens up and enters into time, length, breadth, depth, everything for a certain amount of time and then closes it again.
Okay. But why not able to hold
Because the body is feeling too new, uncomfortable. Anything you are too new, you feel uncomfortable.
Okay.
So you need to be told about it. You need to be supported to settle down. Then when it comes, repeats again, it doesn't leave. It settles down.
Okay. Swamiji, one more question. Can it be created or is it
It
something
can be just rebuilt again. It can be consciously rebuilt
by the individual?
by the individual. Even when I am doing process, if you remember that experience, it will suddenly click and repeat.
JJ,
Yes.
when people die, that time only the length and breadth switches off.
No. Actually, when people die, length and breadth is left here. Only depth is carried to the next body.
Swamiji, I'm trying to understand what is belief in terms of what is belief in
Can you repeat what it is?
terms of dimensions?
Belief.
Belief, yes.
Belief is a too poor word. I should say, I will not promote belief in any line. Whatever I am promoting, nowhere I ask you to have belief. I establish my adhikaratva, I establish my authority by the Sakshi Pramana, and only as an extension of Sakshi Pramana, I give you the commitments about life. It's only as the extension of Sakshi Pramanas. See, even the Sadashivam whole process starts with Sakshi Pramana. As an extension of Sakshi Pramana only the whole thing. So I should say belief.
Swamiji, about the possibilities, impossibilities, many of the things look like they are possible but can't be experienced. Example, my eye can see 200 meters from here. Since it can see 200 meters, it is capable of seeing any distance.
Yes.
But
It is not possible as son now. Listen. The moment you decide it is possible but not yet become experience, your whole attitude towards life becomes a large yes. If you don't even understand it is possible, and you say, now it is not experience and it is not possible, you are atheist. Now it is not experience but it is possible, you are a theist. But it's not belief. Belief, this is not belief. This is from Sakshi Pramana moving further. Because you can see 20 feet, you can see 200 feet. Sakshi Pramana moving further is not belief. That is the theist.
so what is the thing which, how we can make it the power to?
I see. How to make it, for each of the making it, there is a clear system. Now for your eyes, as you asked, third eye. Awakening it is the best. But each, how we have answer, but this basically looking into possibility makes you say yes for life. I tell you. Now you decide. I can see 20 meter, then I should be able to see 200 meter. Even if you don't make that as a reality now, in the further janmas you will be manifesting it.
Yes, sir.
See, listen. Every possibility you keep in you is an empty vessel you keep. And during death you are showered with Ganga. You will hold energy in all those empty vessels and come back. That is why I say, a man who keeps lot of possibilities in his inner space, even when he dies, he takes an amazing birth. Because when you leave the body, such large amount of energy is available before you take birth. You go through the cosmic treasury. But if all your vessels are kept upside down, you go and come back as empty as you went. So even having understanding about your possibility makes a vast difference.
Thank you, Swamiji. So,
And I tell you, every night when you fall asleep, especially with this spiritual alchemy products, you go through a very powerful zone. Keep this possibility vessel and get there and come back, you will come back with filled vessel. Really. I'm not over promising you. I'm telling you exact truth.
yes, Swamiji. Swamiji, one more question, Swamiji. Few years back, just before physically meeting you, I just went through one experience where all of a sudden it just, the whole sound became muted for me. It stayed for the whole day.
Was it peaceful?
Completely peaceful, Swamiji. Enjoyable. Though I was
Actually, that is a space of shanti. It is possible where the length gets switched off. During the process, sit and remember that it can be repeated. I can bring it back.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Swamiji, in which dimensions do thoughts exist, Swamiji? Is it length, breadth and depth? Or
Length, only length.
Only length.
Breadth carries only visualization. Depth does not carry thought at all. Depth carries only cognition.
And Swamiji had said that time is created only when thought moves on space.
Listen. At least little bit of length is required for time to be generated. If there is no length, time cannot be generated. You will be in a just unclutched space.
So, Swamiji, my question is, suppose a person doesn't have that much of denial and has multiple capabilities, still won't that person have conflict? What I should be doing this moment?
No. First thing, you are asking imaginary question. If somebody has a multiple intelligence, he will not have conflict about the day-to-day life. He just knows how to flow. He knows his priorities. Conflict is when you don't know your priorities. If you know your priorities, there is no question of conflict.
So,
Conflict is itself is con man's flict. Part of you has become con man. That is why conflict.
So, to continue that with a personal experience, from childhood I've been brought up in to get up at the Brahmi Muhurta and study, not do yoga, but like, study, and I enjoyed that. Now, like, if I want to switch and I'm conflicted, I know yoga is a priority.
No, what I am saying, you should, it means you are not clear about your priorities. From childhood days, they told you means at that time they may not know about the value of yoga.
Right,
Understand? Now, you should know your health is in your hands.
Right.
See, in 20s if you do yoga, in 30s you will be healthy. In 30s if you do, in 40s you will be healthy. In 40s if you do, in 50s you will be healthy. If you miss 40s, 50s will become disease. If you miss 50s, 60s, you may not even be there. So understand. And it's up to you.
Sure. Thank you, Swamiji.
I tell you, health should be your first priority, because anything else you build and you are not there, then what is the use? For whose sake are you working? For whose sake are you working? Health should be your first priority. Make this as a point. The moment you wake up, attend to the health-related needs like yoga, walking, jogging, running, whatever. Whatever. Health should be your first priority. Otherwise, whatever you are building, for whose sake? For the people who are waiting for you to die?
Energy seems to exist independent of length, breadth, time, and space, time. Would that also qualify as a dimension?
No. Energy is I should say, if you equate the word energy to the electricity and all, it is like a space vibrating. If you equate the word energy to Adi Shakti, it's a Karani of all these 11 dimensions. Now that Karani energy only I invoked in all of you during the last few minutes process, Kali. Kali is the Karana Sarira of the cosmos. Karani of the cosmos. She is responsible for making you cognize whether something is possible or impossible. She decides to make you Sura or Asura.
So energy, you're saying, is the basis for all the 11
Yes. If you look at if you give the meaning of the energy to the higher meaning, if you say energy is this power and all, then I should say it's vibrating space. That's all.
So matter also falls under vibrating space? Or?
Matter should fall under vibrating space. Even this is vibrating space. All these are vibrating space.
earlier you said Brahma painted all our life in a big screen. And if you have the manifesting power, how we can manipulate what's going to happen? And can we postpone the death?
Listen, there is certain amount of freedom you have. Like if a cow is tied with a 4-meter rope left, he cannot do anything beyond that 4 meter, but within that 4 meter he can stand, sit, lie down, all that is his freedom. Within that 4 meter, how he behaves, if he behaves properly, the rope may be extended to 7. If he behaves completely nice, the rope may be even removed once for all. So all beings do have a certain limited freedom in the initial level.
Okay.
How we play with our freedom decides whether to it should be extended or it will not be extended.
How does it compare with astrology, who's predicting the future?
That is what I am saying. There are some things which are set for, see, it's like if you switch on, if you put a CD and switch on the tape recorder, MP3 player, if you don't interfere, it will be going on with that programming. Same way, with this present mental setup, if you proceed, how your life will be, that is called prarabdha. But you do have a freedom to interfere, switch off, on, rewind, fast forward, pass. Educating you about your freedom is initiation. Letting you live your life is prarabdha.
Okay.
People come to me, ask, how is my life going to be? I ask them, do you want prediction? Go to my balasans. If you want me to change, come here. If you want to know what is written, go to balasans. If you want to rewrite, come, I'll do. Understand, there's two different levels.
So what is the Yadanati Sani, which is right now for Virchiga Rasi, Yadanati Sani is running. Is it Janma Sani?
If somebody does not know how to interfere with the effects generated by the liver, means Sani's impact, what he will go through, you can read in the Panchika, you can read in all the news channels. That is a prarabdha. But if you are suffering and if you want to change, ask an energy darshan, I'll intervene. What Brahma writes by hand, Guru wipes by leg.
I just want you to shed some light on cosmic will and free will. From yesterday, I've been trying to request this question to you. So I am doing some prayatna to come in front and ask this question. So is it cosmic will that I have to ask you this question? Or is it my free will that allowed me to ask?
The question, as the question is free will, answer is from cosmic will.
As you said, the cosmic will, where does it fall? Is it in all the LBD, the length, breadth and depth?
Cosmic will permeates everything.
So then the free will, when it plays, where does that fall?
See, free will is one small bit of the cosmic will.
Okay. Thank you so much.
See, it's like a whole railway track, 100 kilometers. And the spot where the train is moving, the spot where the train is moving is free will. The whole 100-kilometer railway track is cosmic will.
This LBD on that, these planets, what are moving around, these planets are having definitely LBD all. Will you say this, when we think about planets and the astrology, they are having LBD or they are having only space?
Please understand. Please understand. All the planets come within the space of length, breadth, depth, time, space, in that 5.
All 5 are there?
Yes, all 5 are there in all these planets. In Swarga and all, length is missing, but all the other 4 is there. In Naraka, all the other 4 are missing, only length is there.
Right.
So in Patala, depth exists, but so much of length is also available. The depth is not actively performing.
Right, Swamiji.
So, I'll do one thing. When I finish explaining all the 11, I'll tell you all the 14 planes where they fit into this 11.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Atala, Sutala, Talatala, Vitala, Patala, Bur, Bhuva, Suva, Tapa, Satya, Janya, all these lokas, where they fit in this 11 dimension, I'll tell you.
The usual concept in the Western way is that there is space and there is some object called planet which is having LBD and just moving around. So they see the planet, different than space because it's an object. So, your revelations are totally different and it is absolutely...
See, I should say, the space is Karani, Karana. Length, breadth, depth, when it moves in the Karana, the friction generated is time. That is why the mass decides the time.
Beautiful. Next one, you said very
How many of
nicely.
you are able to catch the mass decides the time?
Next one, Swamiji. Actually, you said that Akasha and Kala, they are the words for space and time.
Rough equivalent. There is,
now-
see, I'll tell you one thing. Akasha, 100 qualities are there. Space, when it is translated, maybe some 50 qualities only are attributed to the word space. What I'll tell you, in Akasa, when I utter the word Akasa in Sanskrit, even the space where cloud gets converted into water, that whole weather temperature change, for that space supports. But in the English word space, this quality is not attributed to space. Kala also, I'll give you an example. The English word time is not given certain glories and qualities which is attributed to Sanskrit word Kala in Sanskrit language. That is the difference between these two. For example, English concept of time is not carrier of your depth from one body to another body, but Sanskrit concept of Kala is a flight in which the reflecting mechanism, that space, is shifted from one body to another body.
Oh.
Listen, see, I'll tell you. There's a mirror inside you on which all the information goes and hits and the response comes back. That mirror is Akasa.
Okay.
Understand? Whenever this body stops working, Kala is used as a flight to carry this mirror and keep it in the other body. Understand? I don't know whether you are able to catch what I am saying. But time is not given this qualification in English language.
I'm able to catch somewhere, but not directly logically.
I'll tell you. This mirror which reflects. You have like this one mirror in you, which is the space where all the information reaches and answers come back, commands come back. That is the Chitakasha, it is called. That Chitakasha is moved from this body to the next body when you leave this body on the train called Kala. Kala becomes the shoulder on which you ride and enter into another body.
Okay.
But the time is not given this glory and definition in English. So that is why I am saying when I use the word Kala, the depth with which I can explain, I am not able to when I use the word time.
Okay. The last part.
See, it is like one blind man, one person who has both the legs, who does not have both the legs, one person who does not have both the eyes, become friends. And the guy who does not have legs was carried by the guy who does not have eyes. So that with his eyes he will guide, with his leg he will walk. The time and space relationship is like that only. One fellow cannot do something and another fellow cannot do something. Within the body, time does not have a big role when the space is bolted in the body. But when the body is not there, space cannot respond, so time only has to carry him. Blind guy and the guy without legs. Blind guy has legs, he can walk. Guy without legs has eyes, he can guide.
Both are complementary to each other.
Yes.
The other part is that
When you say both are complementary to each other, you are Sura. When you say both are incomplete, you are Asura.
Okay.
Understand? When you say both are complementing each other, you are Sura, Deva. When you say both are incomplete, how can they exist? How can they live? It's impossible, you are Asura.
Swamiji, kindly reveal the Sanskrit word or the Agama. What are the words mentioned for LBD, length, breadth and depth? As you have mentioned about Akasha and Kaala.
The depth is called Gana.
Ghana.
Gana.
Okay.
Gana.
But in English, that's a sort of density.
I should say, all cognition is intense, undividable length, breadth manifestation. Let me put it this way. If it is a cheese, it is Ghana. If it is a milk, it is length. If it is a ghee, it is breadth.
Oh.
Got it? Trying to find which is the right word to convey this, the length and breadth. Because Sadashiva uses, when it comes to the measuring the Yagashala, he uses one word, Neela, not Neela, Neela. And when it comes to building the aircrafts, he uses a different word. Unit itself is different. So I just wanted to, I'll get the right word and give you. What will fit more when I explain about dimensions? Please understand, the length concept used during construction, length concept used during shipbuilding is different in Agama. I don't know why. The unit itself is different. And the formulas are different. In the construction, the length is dealt in a normal way, how you deal in the Western way. Like a unit and all that. But in the space building or shipbuilding, length is not dealt like that. It is dealt more always associated with Gana. Length does not get involved in any independent calculation in shipbuilding without Gana. Without, see, it describes in shipbuilding, in any movable, like a ship or airspace and all that, length becomes feminine, who does not have an independent existence without the Gana. But in all the immovable, like a building the house or a palace or a temple or a Yagashala, length becomes a male, independently it can stand. So the word used is masculine length word in the for immovable, for movable a feminine length word. I am yet to discover why the difference.
Swamiji, I just
All these dimensions are given genders by Sadashiva. He also gives genders.
The usage of the words length and breadth in English, say this is there. I mean, if you call this part as length, then this part is width. And there, vice versa, you can change.
Yes.
So the length and breadth, words are interchangeable.
But in Agama, it is not interchangeable.
But the concept what you are saying, it is not. Yes,
it is not interchangeable. So, not only that, and it is also, the gender identity is given for all three of them. Maybe the formulas used in immovable and formulas used in movable have a different purpose, so they are given a different gender identity. Still I am yet to discover the context why here different, there different. I only know two different. I am yet to stumble upon the context.